Give it up for Josh Johnson.
This weekend, wow, it is for everybody. I imagine this weekend was weird. It was weird because for like half a day, we did think half a day. That's so long. Half of a day. It's a very long time to think the president. And then, you know, we found out, oh, that wasn't the case. And they posted, you know, the news reports came out. They were like, the president's been found golfing in Virginia. It's like, don't say found like that. Found. Like a lost singer. Found. It's insane. Just say he was golfing in Virginia. Found in Virginia? It makes it sound like the White House didn't know. I'm pretty sure they drove him. Found. 12 hours is too long to think somebody's dead. My buddy lives with his grandpa. And every time he thinks his grandpa's dead, he finds out in about 5 minutes. His granddaddy does that sleep you only do when you old. You know that sleep where you like... I don't know why, but like it seems like after 70, people just sleep with a little bit too much neck. You know what I mean? Like his granddad can't just go to sleep. He always hit the. Like, that's a very dead way to lay. That's how Talia died at the end of Dark Knight Rises. She like. The neck crank is a surefire way for somebody to put a spoon in front of your nose to see if you're still kicking. He does it a lot, apparently, you know, because his granddaddy sleeps pretty deep. There's that whole thing about sleep being the cousin of death, and I think it's his granddaddy's half-brother, because... Not even a snore, not even a you know what I mean? He said he always thinks his grandpa gone when he take a nap because the way he falls asleep, which to be fair to my friend, this is I've never seen this in anyone else in my entire life. But he said his granddad will go take a nap. He'll announce it too, like, I lay down. And then he goes to lay down, whether it's on the couch or it's in his room, and lays his head back. And he said the way his granddaddy falls asleep is he takes a deep breath. That's a great way to look dead. This man goes to take a nap, lays on the couch and goes, Now, to be fair to his granddaddy, every time he wakes up, he does finish the breath. said his granddad never wake up peaceful. He always wake up. But even then, he's never wondered if his granddaddy was gone for 12 hours. 12 hours. Jeez. And we thought that because Trump doesn't look good. You know what I mean? He just finally looked like he act like. You know what I mean? Like if somebody listed everything a person did next to everything that they ingested, you'd be like, that's not a person who's well. And finally, he doesn't, he just doesn't look like he's doing great. I didn't even know the term. He had some venous thing. Turns out that venous thing was his ankles. His ankles, I don't know if you've seen them. World leaders have seen them. World leaders have had to sit there and not look. In case you're not familiar, look, Trump's ankles are... No, his ankles just sitting there looking, caked up. Like... I mean, he got some thickums under those socks. Trump's ankles have quite a bit of booty. I can't imagine what that must be like to be an aide in the White House and walking next to the president, taking orders from the president of the United States, but all you can hear is his ankles clapping. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough, it is. It's like his ankles and then his hand. That hand. His hand is black. Like it's Imagine being Donald Trump and turning black. No one's more upset than him. No, that's bad. That's tough. He's over here trying to live, and if you just don't have something on the schedule, people assume. It's funny too because I go back and forth with friends. I have friends that are sort of across the political spectrum. I have these friends who, whether they tell me or not, I know that they voted for Trump. At least one of them, I'm pretty sure, voted for him 3 times. Every time he could, he did. And so we'll go back and forth all the time. We'll mostly be arguing all the time. And we argue about a bunch of things that aren't Trump. as well. Like sometimes we'll just argue about like whole social issues, whole different policies and everything. And maybe it's because I've known him longer than Trump has been president that I feel like having those arguments is, to me, worth it. You know, I don't ask anybody else to do everything that I'm doing, but I think that there is something to get to the bottom of, and it's what we are gonna do when he's gone. Do you know what I mean? Because I think that right now it's easy to put everything that's happening and how we feel about each other on one person, because it's sort of the catalyst for all this stuff. But the groundwork was being laid long before he ever became president. And so whenever he's gone, you know, we're all going to have to figure out a way to relate to each other. Because it's not as if all of the problems begin and end with him. You know, he's just one of them. But I don't know. No idea. It's maybe. We don't know. It could be any day now. It could be 200 more years. Truly, like my grandma was in the nursing home before she passed, and I would go visit her and everything. My grandfather as well, at different times, they were in nursing homes, and when I go to visit them, you'd see people who had to be 3,000 years old. And it's like, I don't know, you know, you try to live a life that's full of love, and like you try to make memories and moments with family, with strangers. You want to have a full life. You want to have a life that you look back on and you're proud of the impact you had on people, you know? And along the way, try to maybe, I don't know, eat right when you can, but enjoy yourselves, you know? Drink sometimes, not too often. Maybe party a little bit when you're younger and it wean off of it as you get older, but do your best to have a really impactful life, even if you never become whatever it is, like rich, famous, popular. You're someone who, by being in other people's lives, their lives are richer. And same way that trees in the forest have roots that overlap, your life impacts other people's lives. You create ripple effects and create positive change in the world. And hopefully by doing all the right things, you have a good, long life. Or you could be the devil and probably live way longer, like way longer. So many of those people in that nursing home were very mean. They were so mean. I was like, man, life must run off hate fuel. How are you this old and mad you're alive too? Be sitting there, nothing keeps you alive longer than sitting in a rocking chair and not rocking. Imagine, you gotta really be a bad person to sit in a rocking chair, have the joy of rocking and not even want it. My friend said, you know, he went through a similar thing. He would go to the nursing home, visit his grandparents and stuff, and he said every day there was this old dude in a rocking chair, not rocking, sitting there, arms crossed in the chair. Everybody walked by. People would say hello to him. Finally, he was like, you know what? I say hello to this man when I pass him, and we never really have a conversation. He doesn't speak to me, and I don't take it personally because you never know what people are going through. You know, some people, you might think they're being rude, but maybe they have something going on. Maybe they have dementia a little bit, or maybe they're in their own head about something, trying to remember something and doing something. So he said, I'm going to make a point the next time I go there to have a conversation with him. You know what I mean? Because that's the one thing he said he never saw anybody do. And so next time he went to visit his grandpa, on the way out, he walked up to him and he was like, "Hi, how you doing?" Man said, "I'm alive." And it's like, "Well, I hope you're having a good day." He's like, "Why would it be a good day?" And, "Well, it's nice outside and everything, sun shining. You're in a rocking chair." And he was like, "I'm in a rocking chair. I don't like this rocking chair. I just sit in it so nobody else cares." It's easy to put everything in the way that we are now and all narratives and all discourse on just one person. It's easy to do that, especially when that person looks like they're driving all of it, right? But the ground was laid for this person long before they came into any sort of political picture. You know what I mean? Like for a long time, people have felt like there was nobody who was looking out for them. For a long time, people felt like it would take somebody who could not be bought by Washington or Wall Street's special interest money, or couldn't be twisted in whichever direction by lobbyists, or was looking out for people because they weren't motivated by money, and they weren't motivated by the promise of getting rich, and the thing that we came to believe as a country almost. You saw this way before Trump ever entered the political pictures, that if someone was at least independently wealthy, maybe they wouldn't be swayed by the money. You know what I mean? And there were those people across political spectrum that felt like there was no one looking out for them, that slowly everything that was their quality of life and everything that they earned was eroding away piece by piece, right? And that they just needed someone to step up who would stand in the way of all that and wouldn't be swayed by it. And unfortunately, that person never showed up. But and so I have these arguments with my friend, and there was one point where I'm going back and forth for a while, because I felt like for everything that he said, I was saying something that was a reason why he shouldn't trust Trump on it, or why I didn't think it was something that was going to happen, And finally he goes, "Well, he's a businessman." And I had heard this before, and he said he's a businessman. And I was like, oh, he's a businessman. He's a businessman. He is a businessman. He's a businessman, though. No, like he is a businessman. He's a businessman. He's a businessman. You said he's a businessman, and he's a businessman. You told me he's a businessman. I've heard this before. He's a businessman. I'm just making sure that I understand what you're saying. He's a businessman. He is a businessman. He's a businessman. So even you didn't say good businessman. You said You said as in he's one, as in yes, he does business. It's a businessman. Yeah. He's a businessman. He is a businessman that bankrupted a casino. You know casinos. You know those things you don't generally leave money with. He bankrupted a casino. He's a businessman. He bankrupted a casino. A casino, though. He's a businessman. It's a businessman. Bankrupted a casino. And look, I'm not a businessman. And I don't own a casino. In fact, whenever I go to a casino, I don't even gamble. I just do the show. I've done some shows at casinos. And then, I do the show, and then I go back to my room. I leave. I don't know the ins and outs of running a casino. I hardly know what it's like to really, enjoy yourself at a casino walking through and playing games and stuff. You know, I've walked with other people as they've wanted to gamble and stuff like that. I've been like awkwardly standing there, but I don't know what it takes to run a casino. And maybe this casino, look, maybe I'm throwing this out there as an olive branch. One of many I'll extend. Maybe this casino, this one, maybe had those slot machines that really give you credit for how hard you pull them. You know what I mean? You pull that slot machine as hard as you can, and the slot machine is like, okay, Daddy. Nah, I gotta get you a little something for that. No, I don't know, but he knows because he's a businessman. He's a businessman. Maybe I'm throwing it out there that at this casino they had, working for the casino, blackjack dealers that were as bad at blackjack as me. Maybe. The dealer, you'd be at his table, and he was like, you said hit? You sure? Okay. And you win again. All right, wonderful. I don't know. He probably knows because he's a businessman. Maybe this was one of the only casinos in all of America, maybe in all of the world, the only casino with clocks. Who knows? Maybe just over the poker table was a clock, and people were like, 9 already? I should go home. I've been here for quite a while. I don't know, but I'm sure he knows because he's a businessman. He's a businessman. Bankrupted a casino. A businessman. And look, it's a casino. I can't think of a better... People come and drop off their money and leave. I can't think... I am not a businessman, but I can't think of a better business to make money. You can't even have casinos everywhere. But, you know, this is my thing. A part of me does understand how someone could think all we need to do is get a businessman in there to fix everything, because I think that America runs so much like a business, even in the parts that it shouldn't, that obviously we're going to think everything translates to business. You know? Like this was where I was naive, I'll tell you right now. I thought that even if there was no national pride or community, or even if we couldn't find some sort of like camaraderie as Americans, we at least, at our very core, loved money enough. I thought we loved money more than anyone loved him. I thought as soon as somebody messed with the money, we would all come to our senses and be like, yo, not the money. That's the only thing holding this together. But then you see there are people whose lives have already been ruined. Because of his policies, you could lay all the blame at his feet, and they're like, I'll figure something else out. You'll figure some You'll figure something else out. That's crazy. That's a crazy thing to say. Especially when, like, what? 12 months ago, you were screaming about eggs. And now your business is in shambles. And you're like, who can say? That felt insane. But also, I think that if you look at America as a business, it would make sense that you would want a businessman in there. But the thing is, you can't run the country the way you run a business. You know, a company, if they are in dire straits, could lay off half their work staff and then try to keep things going, use that to stay afloat. A company can buy back its own stocks in an effort to enrich itself as a company, make those stocks worth more. A company has a fiduciary responsibility to its shareholders. A company technically does more for its shareholders than the government does for its people. And so I could see how people would be like, oh, we'd at least like to get that. That'd be nice, some dividends or equity, something. We'd at least like to feel solvent. No. But it just doesn't work that way. And I don't think it should. I think that a business now is very different than a business before. Like there's a thing that happened, and maybe it's only like my frame of reference because of age and everything, but I think that something happened in 2008 that we haven't recovered from still, which is that, like, for the first time ever, companies that truly screwed up beyond measure, like actually beyond measure, like they should have crashed everything. This is the type of stuff that you read in the textbook and then they, hung everybody. Like that's... We don't realize it, but that's the level of like nasty that it got in 2008. If you had, knocked off a couple 100 years and put it in France, there would have been a guillotine. You know what I mean? And instead, there was a bailout, but instead of a bailout of the people, it was a bailout of the companies, because we believe in business so much. We believe that everything works like a business, to the point where even the politicians, naively, maybe some of them sincerely, were sure that if we keep the business afloat, it'll keep the people afloat, because then people won't lose their jobs, and then people will still be able to get these services, and people will still buy these products, right? And what ended up happening is that, so many people were foreclosed on, so many people lost their jobs anyway, people's like 401ks and retirements were destroyed, and then the people that they gave the bailout to sort of, trickle down the economics, something got stopped up right at the top. And so people who had wrecked the economy beyond measure got a bonus. They got a bonus for wrecking usually when you break something. And ever since then, it feels like business is about not being left holding the bag. That's what real business seems to be now, is that you do everything you can to extract as much value as possible, and then you dip before everything comes crashing down, whether you dip because you sell the company, or you dip because, you decide to shutter it after you've like fired everyone and ruined it as a service and everything. Basically private equity, right? So I believe he's a businessman. I do, because I'm sure, look, if we're talking business, to his credit, I'm sure that he was not worse off for bankrupting that casino. I'm sure it was the people that worked at the casino. I'm sure he stiffed some of the contractors who helped build the casino, but I'm sure that he found a way to leverage that debt, because he loves debt. He found a way to leverage that debt into his next venture, and then he started selling steaks or whatever. I don't know. Like, it was just, it's been a lot of You know what else it is too is that you can't focus too much on this one person. It makes him more important than he really is. I understand that he's president. I understand he's one of the richest people in the world. But as far as importance, it's about what lasts, you know? This dude, no wonder we thought he was gone. He went on Fox News. No wonder we thought he was gone. Trump went on Fox News. Everybody forget this. Trump went on Fox News and just started randomly. No one asked him. Randomly talking about how he was trying to get into heaven. And it's like, then you know. One thing my buddy's granddaddy never does is talk about the afterlife. Gets up, watches his shows, takes his naps, gets up and eats, and repeats. If he was pontificating on heaven, I think people would just start assuming that every nap really was the last nap. It's because, you know, a man's hand. Guys, he's turning black. But I don't, look, I truly talk about Trump because he's in the news, but I don't really care about Trump. I care about people. What's going on with people? All of this is going to outlast this one person, you know? And even in California, you see in California, where there was one case, it seems contained and already treated and everything, but it is happening. One case of plague. You know plague. You know plague. Plague. Some would ask which plague. Apparently, the. You know plague from the producers of the Middle Ages. Plague. You know plague. Don't act like you don't know plague. You know plague. It's plague. The reason Europe's not bigger. Plague. You know plague. And no matter how much you may hate Trump, you gotta admit, this is some pretty bad luck. He 2 for 2 on presidential terms and plagues. That's crazy. That was wild. Yeah, first one a fluke. The second one, how did a plague skip Biden's era? Like that's. Plague. Because that's the fear, is that, like, yes, they found one case, they treated it, you know, they've even traced it back to a particular source, because it's really a climate change issue, because basically the fleas that carry plague are thriving right now in the warmer climate, and so then they're hopping on more rats, and then the rats might come in contact with people, right? And so there's always the fear, the possibility that it isn't just that one case, and it isn't just contained to California. There's a real fear and a possibility that plague could have spread to the president's hand. It's possible. Because what we did, and how do I put this? What we've done in the U.S. as far as presidents is it's not exactly like we're picking young ones. You know what I mean? Whatever you do, whatever that thing is, whether it's law, is military, or it's business, we seem to want you to have a wealth of experience in that field. Because there's going to be 3 branches of the government, and you may not be familiar with all of them. Even if you're a career politician, you may not know how to like wade perfectly through all of them. But, you know, if you have a lot of experience in one thing, that could win you the trust of the people. And we haven't had a young president in a long time. I mean, like, Kennedy was one, like, young ones, like a young guy being president. And we haven't really done that again. Like, you know, what we've done is we've let confidence and swag make up for youth. If you are the president and you present yourself in a way that makes us feel good, we will turn that back over to you in the sort of social capital that youth usually carries, right? Because we want you to have experience, but at a certain point, we have to be realistic, right? Like, Bill Clinton wasn't young, but he had a saxophone. We had a saxophone, so we defended him. We were like, that shows lung capacity. Have you heard him play, though? And then you had George W. Bush. Look, George Bush wasn't young, but he... I don't know, he just had like a childlike wonder to his... You could always tell when he was addressing the nation and he had also just learned a new word. Bush would be up there like, terror. Did I do it good? And then you had Barack Obama. And Barack Obama was younger than some of the people who have been president, you know, before and since, but he wasn't a baby. You know what I mean? Like he wasn't incredibly young, but he had that exact thing I'm talking about. He had an energy that was like a mobilization behind him, and he had like some measure of charisma that made up for any youth he might have been lacking. You know, I remember when Barack Obama sang that Al Green. That was incredibly uncomfortable. No, because when it happened, I was at a get together with a bunch of aunties going, "Oh, Barack." I'm like, no. No, I'm trying to have my dinner right now. What you doing? Can't eat meatloaf in these conditions. And then you went from Obama to Trump, and Trump had that energy. He had people behind him, and he came off youthful because he was like a schoolyard bully. Anytime somebody said something, any interview that went awry, he was ready, nickname, anything. He was just coming at you all the time. It's like he fed off of it. It was his favorite thing to fight with the media and get people riled up. That feels like youthful energy. That feels like it's going to be here forever, you know? And then we went from Trump to Biden, who, to be fair, told us he was going to be old. I've talked about this before. We were coming at Biden. We asked Biden, and Biden was like, "Are you sure? I got a Werther's in my mouth right now." I'll do it if you want me to do it, but my car does smell like potpourri, so. I'll do it. If y'all want me to do it, I'll do it. For real. If y'all like, no. Like if I'm the only one that can stop them, if I need to do it, I'll do it. But just know, when I shake world leaders' hands at the G7, G20, whatever, my hand will pop a lot. Whole handshake. It's gonna sound like Orville Redenbacher. But if y'all insist. And then we got Trump again after Biden, and this feels very different. You go back and watch a rally of Trump from 2016, 2017, and then you watch a press conference now. Very different. It's very, very different. I mean, it seems like he's dying. Like it's because look, I'm not. It's not lost on me that to be an American, to live in the U.S., you have to become, or at least have an understanding of what you need to do to be a semi-good capitalist, right? And there are people that ask the question, how can you fight for a more equitable world while you're living in a system that is corrupt? And I look at it the way I look at when I travel and I meet people who live in the country, but they don't speak the language, right? Like, your native language is compassion and charity. You weren't made specifically to speak the language of margin calls and derivatives, dividends and everything. That's a language you can learn to get by because you live here, but it's not a language you were born with. When your parents are raising you, or when you have fond memories of being a kid, they all come from things much, much deeper than money. And then as you get older, you clearly need money to get by. That's no crime. Like, you have to function as a society. So you learn how to move with money as best as possible, but you can get distracted. It can take you to a place that makes it hard to remember your humanity. You know what I mean? Like, some people look at anyone who has succeeded in business as someone who must have earned it, but that's not how all business works. You know what I mean? Like, if I own a house and I set it on fire and I run out of the house, am I a genius, or did I just have an insurance policy? Maybe both, but maybe I'm a crook. You know? Like, only solvency that you have to contend with is your soul. You know what I mean? The solvency is defined by a company's ability to pay its long-term debts, right? If a company's not solvent, you have no trust in that company, and you probably shouldn't invest in that company. And as long as we're keeping it to financial terms, a soul works in a similar way. Depending on your belief system, depends on if your solvency, your long-term debt is to God or family, your community, or a cause. But, like, you can tell the difference between a religion and a cult by how they measure those solvencies. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that every major religion doesn't have its blemishes. It has people, so it's going to have plenty of mistakes in its history. But, a religion that only speaks to what is deeper about you and what is in you and what happens outside of all of this is probably worth looking into, worth reading about. And anything that brings it all the way down to the material good is probably a cult. You know what I mean? Just because the cult usually wants your money. They start off pretty good. A cult usually starts off with, like, a great party or something, and then, like, I don't know, in about 3 weeks, they're like, hey, how much do you make? Dividends work the same way. Dividends get paid out. Companies will pay dividends to their investors, and those dividends go to shareholders. They go to investors, and if you have ever been the beneficiary of someone's kindness or goodwill, then you have dividends to pay throughout your life, you know? And I don't know if that can be understood if you only understand business. You know? Country isn't a business. It just isn't. You know what I mean? Like, but who knows? He's a businessman. Like, maybe he's Trump is a businessman the way JFK Jr. was a pilot. You know what I mean? Oh, all right. No, you should groan. You're on the plane. Logan, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well, man. How are you?
I'm doing all right. It does seem like we are held captive right now in someone's grandma's house.
Yeah, if you see the video, yeah, it does. Yeah, specifically a grandma hostage taker is what we have.
Yeah, it looks like we're being kept well fed and entertained with stories. I can't tell if the stories of the torture or the reprieve from the torture, but we know a lot about harmonica playing from the 1920s. A lot about someone named Thurston.
Yep. What soda pop used to cost in the 60s. We know that now.
Also a lot of glass doors, so this is probably one of the most escapable prisons I've ever been in.
Yeah, that's true. This just slides right open. That's not.
Yeah.
No, this is it's strange because the camera's pretty far away if you're watching the video, and the futon we're on. The only way to really sit comfortably was for us to slump back like this.
This futon is so uncomfortable, you can tell no one's ever had sex on it.
Or too many people have had sex on it.
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so either.
I feel like this one is even the way I'm sitting right now, this is just regular sitting with regular legs that are just both the feet touching the ground and the ass touching the back of the futon.
Yeah.
And I'm so deeply uncomfortable right now that there's no way someone had pleasurable intercourse on this thing.
Yeah, I keep like having no way of like feeling and looking comfortable.
Yeah. I mean, this is an Airbnb, so neither one of us will have to deal with this situation much longer. But
yeah, this is the second one. This is not the one I was in last week. This one is better. So I know we're not giving it a great review.
It already looks better.
It looks better.
They have a blender.
They do. They have a blender, but they don't have a coffee maker, which is an issue for me. But it's all right. I've been doing instant coffee, and I made it work. But
yeah,
I just feel like that's one of like the things to put. Like they have that in shitty hotels, have coffee makers.
Which I don't get, because if you're in a really bad hotel, why would you want to be awake for it? I'm just saying. It's like
fair.
It's weird that they give you coffee so you can stay awake and realize what a terrible motel you're in.
If you go to sleep, then you realize how bad the bed is and that it needs to be cleaned.
Not if you're fully asleep.
Yeah.
If you're unconscious, you're like, it's not until you wake up that you're like, oh, wait, my life is not.
Do you remember we were on the road not too long ago and I just picked up the covers and you could see the light go through the covers and you could see how nasty like the inside of the quilt was?
Yeah, so, okay, how's the best way to explain this?
So I feel weird being way closer than you, but I think I'm more comfortable sitting like this. Is that weirder?
It's only weirder because from here, you look like you're doing a TikTok about me talking.
I think I'm out. Yeah, I'm reacting to you, and I set my shot out of focus because I'm out of focus. Just something like this. This is just not great when you're a big guy to be like, yeah, I want to just lean into the shot gut first is what I really want. And it doesn't help too that the lighting is making me look like, I don't know, the Wall. Look at that. There's no chance.
Yeah, you do look like Wall.
Hopefully I do some color correction on this. Anyway, sorry, not to be too visual, but that took some doing to set up, and we're both so warm.
So,
But yeah, sorry, the thing you were setting up.
Oh, I don't even remember what that is.
The blanket thing, whatever.
Oh, no, just the blanket. So we were on the road, and Logan lifted up his sheet,
Just the quilt. Yeah, it was like the
And-
top quilt.
and wow, the light that went through it revealed what's the best way to describe it? The guts of the quilt.
Yeah, the
Like-
the innards.
Yeah.
The
So
meat?
all of the quilt intestines were fully loose.
Quilt testins? I know you hate when I try for a pun, but I felt like that's the closest I was gonna get. Quilt testins.
Yeah.
Sure. But yeah, because it was like the I guess like the feathers in it. I don't know if it was like a down blanket, but it had like the feathers in it. But you could see like where the stuffing, how little of it was left. Excuse me, how little of it was left, and how orange it was.
Oh yeah, it was like deep orange to where I thought it was.
And the blanket was not orange. The blanket was white.
I thought it was washed blood. It was so orange.
Yeah, it looked weird.
Yeah.
It was a strange.
And that's one of those things where anytime something is well lived in, it's not going to be great.
It's a nice way to put it. Well lived in.
It like anytime it's been used a lot, it's not going to be perfect. It's not going to be. I'm sure it used to be so thick you couldn't see through it with fluffy amounts of feather that felt like a cloud laying on your chest. And by the time we stayed there, years after this hotel had been opened,
Right.
it felt like instead of sleeping on a cloud, it felt like an angel fell out of heaven, but the actual impact of them hitting pavement is what the quilt felt like. It just felt like
Right.
you know.
Lucifer's blanket.
I mean, it wasn't hot. It was just
Well, but I mean when he
deeply
first
uncomfortable.
fell.
From
Is
okay,
what I was saying.
gotcha.
The OG fallen angel, the original.
Yeah, we also might be having heat stroke.
Oh, I am not doubting that at all.
You could probably tell, even listening to the recording, that we're both deeply uncomfortable, and that's probably I can't think of a thing that is more likely to be happening right now than me being a bit overheated, pretty tired, and maybe blurred vision.
Yeah. It's like I feel bad that this is what I've been talking about all week. Not necessarily on the podcast, but like just when I've done to people when I've done sets and stuff, but it's so fucking hot. And I mean, I know it's like not just in New York, the world, because the UK set their records. I can't remember if we talked about that last episode, but it's like this is a heat wave for the planet. And I'm staying in places that don't really have AC. This one does, but it's really just the window unit in the bedroom.
I wonder if it's a heat
I chose
wave
wrong
for the places that are like known to be cold. So if there's people right now in places that are usually cold and they're like, I only had to wear one jacket, it is burning up out here.
I mean, that's kind of how it is. Like
in Alaska?
Sometimes. I mean, in the Midwest, hell, like Iowa, Minnesota, like still.
I guess I never count.
Not so much in the summer, but
Yeah, I never really count the Midwest because in my mind, it's like meant to be hot sometimes there.
true.
I'm talking about places that are always cold.
Well, in the Midwest too is like a muggy hot too. We get humid too. So when
Yeah.
it gets hot, like I'm sure. I mean, hell, Louisiana has to be the same. It probably gets muggy as hell down there, right?
The heat stroke in Louisiana is pretty funny because I mean we could cut all that early stuff out and just get right to this in the episode. The heat stroke in Louisiana is very funny to watch because it's like some people there's no difference.
Why do some people write in and call me a monster and not you?
That's
what I don't understand. You just said watching heat stroke is funny, and people write in and be like, "Logan's a fucking monster." I'm like, I've never laughed at heat stroke.
I mean, you did when I said it.
Okay, well,
Yeah, I'm just saying there are some
but
people.
I'm a bystander. Still, I'm still a witness, not the doer of the crime.
There are some people that you could talk to where you're like, dang, you had a full stroke in front of me and I didn't notice. Like just the way that you talk and how you carry yourself is already a little slurred, you know?
I did your show on Wednesday,
Uh-huh.
and I know you were at a different show, and I walked up there. Our friend Rob was there. He said I got up on stage and turned around, and just in that time, I was sweating. So first off, I just turned around and was sweat. And then at one point, I tried to say I currently live in the Midwest, and what came out was I live Midwest.
Yeah.
Is all I
Yeah.
said. I said I live Midwest.
But you see, your heat stroke is noticeable because of how you talk normally. But when you get someone who's like,
Like a Cajun accent.
yeah, when you get somebody with some drawl, that sounds like heat stroke.
No matter when. No matter
Yeah,
when I'm saying
that's
that.
how. Like if you get
It's
someone,
December, and you're like, are you tired? Did you?
yeah, if you get someone that's like, you don't even know what the boys over there was saying, man. You know with them boys, you know over there with them boys.
Yeah.
You know, there with them boys, it's hot out here with the bunch with the boys. Oh, you done been before with the boys.
Boys.
Yeah.
Yo, man, I got to about
Listen,
that boy.
I need some water and go to the bayou.
Oh, wow. No, wow.
And then before you know it, they're like slumped over, and you're like, "Hey, is he okay?" Like I've watched heat stroke happen in front of me to other people,
Yeah.
and not known the signs right away. Like I had to learn them when I was pretty young, and then
Are you having heat stroke, or are you just Southern?
yeah, 100%, man. Like I think that I think that sadly right now in this moment in life, I'm putting together how much a few accents and dialects out there sound like heat stroke.
Yeah. Name the other ones. Go ahead. Take our show there. Let's get a new fan base. Let's go and become edgelords.
No, I just mean like I think that there are people that I grew up around, especially people in like more of the rural area that had a lot of that French. Slang,
yeah.
would have the drawl to pull off some
Oh,
really
yeah.
like slow talking that you can't quite understand.
Yeah.
So it's one thing when someone's speaking a different language and they're speaking so fast that even if I spoke that language, I'd need subtitles.
Mm-hmm.
But it's very different when someone's speaking slowly and you're still like, oh no,
I'm still lost.
I don't know what is being said at all.
Yeah.
Especially when it's directions. I've been in the car with people where we get a little bit lost and maybe we're in Ball or something like that, and you know,
In Ball, is that a town?
Ball, Louisiana, yeah.
Okay.
And so they're just parts of Louisiana where if you get lost and you
That's
ask
where you
someone
live
for
now?
directions, they will get you more lost because you don't understand them.
And they're
at
probably
all.
using like local references. When you see the blank, then you.
They'll not only will they use
so
local
fucking hot.
references, but they'll also be like they'll tell you a colloquialism you've never heard before.
Oh, I love that. When you
So,
encounter that
like-
in the wild, a new phrase you've never heard.
Yeah. So you're like, oh, you take a stone's throw this far, and then you could just take a left, and then just spitting distance after that. And you're like, these are all
You just give one.
these are all like bodily function things that I don't know how that means
you,
for a car.
You see this, then you just do a little turtle shuffle to the left.
yeah.
That's
No.
interesting.
No, it's pretty bad. In lieu of us doing like Scare B&B last episode,
Right.
I just remembered there were a couple of things that we had previously like not really touched on specifically when we did some of those old review episodes.
Oh, okay.
And there's just a couple of ones I remembered from some restaurants that like were spillover from. Remember that episode we did?
Yeah,
with,
yeah,
like-
yeah.
Okay. And it just made me laugh because we ordered Seamless before we started recording everything because neither one of us had eaten.
Yeah, we're like, let's get hot and full.
Yeah, hot and full is a great
That'll be
recipe
good.
for
That'd be
energy.
good for the show. Let's get hot and full, and let's really lean back.
Yeah.
Let's really get comfy, sit back with a full tum-tum.
It would be wild if there's just 30 minutes of this episode where neither one of us are saying anything because we've quickly fallen asleep.
Yeah, or
And then
we are
you-
having heat stroke and are only understanding each other.
Honestly, if I was having heat stroke right now, I wouldn't even be able to tell you. Like, does it come all at once or what's...
I've seen it happen playing football.
I mean, I've seen it happen
No, I
to
know.
other people, but
It
I
is
guess,
weird 'cause
what does it
sometimes-
feel like?
Well, see, the weird one, I can't remember if I've talked about it on the show before. We'll get back to these restaurants, but I can't remember if we talked about it on the show, but when I saw my friend get heat stroke during a football practice, and he stuck with it for a while, and like he says he does not remember like the latter half of the practice really, or like once we got to like the real big conditioning stuff at the end. And he was going hard to the point to where we were doing like up downs, and he kept going, and they blew the whistle and we stopped, and he did like 3 more, and we were all like, "Hey, Tom, you can quit." And he's just like, ugh, ugh. And he was just like his body had taken over, but his mind was no longer there until we went to like have our final like, breakdown meeting, and he runs up and just falls over. And then he tried to get his pads off, and no one noticed, but he got his pads off, and then they just got stuck. So he was just laying on the ground with his shoulder pads over his head. And I had to give I think I've definitely talked about this on the show, but then I had to give the on deck speech that night, which is especially like cycles through the seniors and juniors, and you give like a little like speech, like a fucking let's go get him or whatever. And I was slurring and my vision was blurred. So I think I was having heat stroke too. And I had a speech prepared, and it was all gone. I just went there. I'm like, look at this football, and the team because we're playing, and we need, and let's so let's go. And then I said like fuck a few times, and so I had to run a fence and back too while having heat stroke. Because if you swear, you got to run a fence and back.
Was your coach... I know we've also touched on this. We're going to get to the restaurants.
Yeah,
in a
sorry.
second. But was your coach fit?
Yeah, they were all pretty fit mostly.
Like, in my opinion, you can't coach football unless you're fit.
Unless you do
There's
it, too.
nothing like
Yeah.
a out of shape guy telling me to run.
Yeah, no,
that
they
makes me angrier.
they
It's
were all
like,
pretty
you
fit.
do it with me then.
Right,
You
yeah.
need it.
Yeah, you go.
You like I'm out of shape from just being young and not knowing how to be in shape.
Right.
You actually are teetering into some health problems.
They were all in pretty good shape, and that was my biggest thing too. Is it wasn't until years later, actually, until I started because I teach with a lot of them now. Mm-hmm. When I sub at that school, so like most of my coaches are all still there, and I teach with them, and I kind of realize how not old they are. And so I realized that they were all like fucking 25 when I was in high school, which makes me angry now retroactively to be like, I cared so much what these fucking 25-year-olds thought. And now there's no person's opinion I value less than a 25-year-old.
Yeah. What is it like now that because the thing with decades
Yeah.
is that teens to 20s feels like a huge gap.
Yes.
And 20s to 30s also feels like a big gap.
Absolutely.
But 30s to 40s and 40s to 50s feels like you're all just adults now.
Yeah.
So now that you're teaching with them, how do you perceive that relationship of like, does it feel like time has shrunk between the two of you?
Like, what do you mean time has shrunk between us?
So if someone's 15 and then someone's 25,
Yeah.
I can see a 15-year-old very much trying to impress a 25-year-old.
They look way older than you and feel just way more worldly
Yeah,
than you.
that's what I'm saying. But now, if you're 35 and they're 45, does it feel like there's almost no time between the two of you
Kind
now?
of, yeah. We all feel. I think it's also too because they all, at least if they haven't seen me do stand up, and some of them have, but a lot of them know of my career and living in Chicago and stuff. So I think they also, not that it's like necessarily a respect thing, but they are aware that like I'm doing shit they've never done. You know what I mean? So I think there's a little more of like they're actually interested in my life, and it's like because when you're in high school and you are in a small town in Iowa, you're not that interesting to talk to. You haven't done anything,
Gotcha.
You're a kid in a small town in the middle of nowhere. So, I mean, yeah, I feel much more. I think it's also too, not that I don't care what they think. I respect all of them, and I still think they're all good guys. I just have a way different relationship with them now, where it's like now I'm like, oh, I'm a guy they want to talk to now, It's not just me trying to impress them. I'm also like, oh, a guy they like knowing, most of them. So
No, that makes sense. That makes sense. Because I'm just thinking about that, how if you knew someone when you were 18 and they were 28, that feels like worlds
Yeah.
apart. But then if you're 48 and they're 58, it's like, all right, one of y'all get better prices at movie theaters. That's about it.
right, yeah.
As far as like life differences.
No, for sure.
You
For sure. And I guess it's more too. It's not even so much that like when I think back, I'm like, oh, why did I care what they thought? It's like, well, they were my coaches and my teachers. You want them to like you. But it's more, I'm like, oh, I wish I had my view of them that I have now, which I'm like, oh, they're just a guy. Like, yeah, I had to impress them and do
Yeah.
stuff for them, but it's also like,
Yeah, I go back and forth on that because here's the thing. When you look at an accomplished person or a person in a position of authority or any of that stuff, when you look at all of them as just a dude, right?
Right.
That's more realistic and it's helpful for perspective. But what it robs you of a little bit is like, if something is special to you and you want that thing and then you want to do it better than the person that you look up to, they can't just be another guy, if that makes sense. They kind of
yeah.
have to have this little like air around them.
well, and I have that. There were teachers who were older than them. Those were like the teachers who were like whoa, those guys are so fucking smart, and like those are the ones I still look at as like the geniuses I knew. And these guys are all smart. It sounds like I'm really bashing the people who are my coaches, and I'm not. I respect all of them and I like them all a lot. But I think I was trying so hard to be like a kid they like, especially because too, like my older brother was like, they fucking loved him. He was such like an amazing student and a really great athlete and stuff too. And I was fine in both categories, So it's like, I'm like, I just want to be liked. And I was more doing that rather than like pursuing stuff because I wanted to be good at it, or, you know what I mean? That's what I mean by it.
Gotcha.
Where it's like, and then that's an ice cream truck going by again. That's 2 episodes in a row that we've had an ice cream truck going
this
right by.
neighborhood love ice cream.
This neighborhood does love ice cream.
This neighborhood, they got, it's sad.
I hear it everywhere
It's
I go
it's-
in Brooklyn.
There's
I'm
so
hearing
much ice cream in Brooklyn. Nobody really can run for the ice cream truck. Like if you miss them, you're just gonna have to get them tomorrow.
I mean, it sounds like they go slow. So, because I hear them in just the one block for a long time.
Yeah, I remember one time the ice cream.
What
truck,
did we just talk about for a long time? Was I rambling about my coaches?
Yeah.
God, I'm in my 30s. What is happening?
So one time, and we're gonna get to the restaurants, I promise. One time,
Oh, I hope we don't.
when I was in Louisiana, I was like a teenager, and this is when I would do cross country. My mom gave me a key, so when I got dropped off from school and from practice, I could just go in the house. Because it was when I was like old enough that she didn't need to take me to the library after school every day.
Yeah.
And so, sure enough, man, oof. I remember I got dropped off at home. I went inside and was playing with Rocky or something, and then the ice cream truck for the neighborhood broke down in front of my house,
Oh, shit.
but they just never turned the music off. And so they just were camped out trying to get like someone to bring a tire out and everything.
Yeah.
And selling ice cream the whole time. So for them, it's just business. But for me, it's like 2.5 hours of the same ice cream truck music. And you know what's crazy? So I didn't have any noise canceling anything, and so all I could do was loud. Like I could just play music.
All I
loud or
could
play
do was loud.
all I could do was loud to combat it. I couldn't noise cancel. I couldn't Bose it. I didn't have that type of money, and so I could just get loud so that I didn't have to hear it.
All I could do is loud. It pleased me. I live Midwest. All I could do was loud.
I'm just saying that loud does not. It still penetrated the volume.
Right.
Which is crazy because I was blaring stuff. Because after the first 20 minutes, I'm like, man, I hope that, because they had clearly broken down. Like you saw the guy,
Right.
His wheel was in a weird position, and he was like not quite out of the street.
I wonder if there's something like scientific to the music of those things. Like if they're at a perfect frequency that they can cut through anything.
Yeah, I mean, whatever it is, it should be illegal because it's so infuriating. I was getting so angry, And the first 20 minutes, I was tolerating it because I was like, that guy's probably having a hard day. Like, I was actually trying to be empathetic. Like,
Right.
that dude's probably having a hard day and everything. And then after, like, the first 40 minutes, I was like, he's at least got to turn the music off, right? Like, I can't be the only one. Like, I even looked out the window at my neighbor's house, see if anybody else was looking out the window to see if anybody else was, like, stressed about
Surely
this.
the neighborhood is infuriated. Right
Yeah, I was
now.
like, surely these people don't love ice cream so much that they need the music while they lick the cone.
it's not special. Then I can just go to a store.
I was
You
getting
know?
furious. And then after the first hour, I was like, I need to do something. And so I had little earbuds, but they were terrible. They were like the cheap earbuds.
Well, and even just because how old were you?
Like 13, 14.
Yeah, see, at that age too, like earbud technology was not great because even the early like good earbuds hurt your head.
Yeah, they really like stretched that. You
Yeah,
be walking around with some loose ears.
yeah, they were
Yeah.
not built for ear shape
Yeah.
at all. They didn't realize it.
They were just
was- it
so
was-
excited that music came through the wires that they were like, leave it.
Yeah, cram these circles into your ears.
And so that didn't work because even though I was listening to music so much it was hurting my ears, I could still hear the like, hello. And so then I was like doing a hum on top of the music. So that I did that. So I was just like, the entire time the music was playing. And it was still cutting through. This is like the telltale heart of ice cream.
Yeah, you truly lost your mind there.
And then I was like,
with earbuds and blaring music, screaming to yourself.
dude, it was like an hour though.
I know. The best would be then if the music stopped and then everyone outside is just hearing, "Ah!" and they're like, oh shit, turn it back on.
Nah. At an hour and a half, I take out the earbud because now my head just hurts. I have like a headache from how
Yeah.
loud the music was.
Well, just humming
And then
too. That's gonna hurt.
I turn the TV on. I turn it on full volume. So like, you know those levels that's ridiculous to let a TV go to, like that, like those volumes that go to 80.
Yeah.
I'm at like 77, and I'm just blaring the, Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. That Spider-Man just going, but then that's not even enough consistent audio to be cutting out.
that a hero can save.
We're not even there yet. We're not even to like the credits.
Oh, is that
of
just the
thing.
soundtrack? It's the movie. Yeah.
This is the movie, and so even the slow parts.
Yeah. Careful that you don't unplug that. Please.
Oh yeah, no, it's just even the slow parts are just straight up blaring. Now the ice cream music seems louder because the movie is so loud. So I'm like, anytime I can hear it through I'm like, did he turn up the volume as well?
I just love too the ice cream music in the background and then Green Goblin laughing over it. Like, there fucking is again. There's the y'all talking shit.
But look, wait. This thing. So you see how it started again?
It dips. Yeah, if you can't hear it, sorry,
Louisiana.
the music stopped for a second because we're hearing the truck go back again.
Yeah. Now, what they did in Louisiana in my neighborhood was they're like, and they do it again and again and again, and then it stopped, and then you would hear, hello.
That's what I was wondering because you said that and I understood that you meant like that's how it played in your thing, but that sounds genuinely alarming.
No, it's horrible. It's so bad, and so that's also happening
That sounds like Pennywise.
for 2.5 hours.
Hello, do.
I've never in my life wanted to brandish a gun
Wow.
more than when I hit the 2-hour mark of that ice cream music. Because I was just like, guys, this is now everyone in the neighborhood that's gonna buy ice cream has bought ice cream. You're not weighing anybody else down,
Right.
like you're not leaning on them hard enough for them to come out of their house and be like anything.
Right.
Anything to make the music stop. Everybody that's bought ice cream is going to buy ice cream.
Anything
So,
to make the music
bro,
stop.
just turn it off.
Wow.
Yeah.
How'd their business do though? Did a lot of people swarm the
No,
truck?
they
Like
got swarmed at first, but then this is my problem. Everyone that swarms you lives here. You were
Fair.
already driving around the neighborhood. You were going to get them anyway.
Oh, that meant there was some kids a few blocks away who were really excited for 2 hours for the truck to get to their house.
Yeah, I guess so.
They just stood there
I
waiting.
guess they just sat there like,
Just outside.
any minute now.
It's got to be coming.
Yeah, my mom doesn't like me walking to the
Yeah.
edge of the street, so,
So I got to stay here and wait. It's so hot out here.
yeah.
I got the money crumpled up in my hand, and I just want them to. Why won't it come?
Have you ever seen the fire hydrant get open? Like,
Not get opened. I've seen it open, but yeah.
oh no. I've watched it
never-
this year especially. They're popping hydrants hard.
Oh, I've been seeing a lot of them already going, but
Yeah.
I haven't seen like the process.
yeah. Oof. There was one guy who popped it open. It was about to close it, and a guy ran up and he was like, "Hey, just give me a minute."
Go ahead.
And then took like a full shower
Just
with
let
the
me-
hydrant. Like people had stopped playing in it, so the guy was about to close it, and he was like, "Hey, let me do my thing." And
just
then
let me cool off a bit. There we go.
man, that
Yeah.
sucks.
Yeah, it has been a hot couple weeks out here. I'm sure it is just everywhere, but you get that, I don't know, that New York sweat's a different sweat. I will say that. I don't know what it is.
Yeah. No, I spent this whole time thinking I had left Louisiana.
Yeah. This thing.
It's like almost as bad.
Like I've been in like LA when it's hot, but it's that, I think it's just that desert hot. It's a little more dry. There's an ocean nearby. I mean, I guess there's an ocean nearby here too, but it hates us. I don't know. It must just be the tall ass buildings and all the concrete. It must just be that. It just it turns into one big hot rock.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't even imagine what I'll do if this continues.
I have like every time I get back from doing something, I get home and I have to peel off a wet shirt and then just, I don't know, just try anything.
It's like because you can't move. You can't move from Earth, so
You can't move from Earth.
we're just here.
Yeah, I thought we had more time before the end was coming, but boy, she's barreling forward at us.
Oh my god! It's like
This can't be a good podcast to listen to, can it?
I mean, we've got out of the 30 minutes we've been recording, we have 20 minutes that are very entertaining.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
Just checking.
yeah. It won't be until you listen back that you know for sure, but the parts that you've laughed have been funny.
I know. I was just joking because it's just us constantly being like, "Oh, it's so hot."
Yeah, but it's also
Oh,
hot
God.
for them listening.
That's true. That's
if
true.
they listen to this in the winter of 2023, it's gonna look like a misstep. It's gonna look like, wow, they really cared about what was going on in their life at that moment.
yeah.
That,
Always check the date of the podcast episode you're listening to, just for some general context. You know what I mean? It's like when I was like finding new podcasts to listen to, and then that started a few years back, and then you catch up to like 2020, and it's always like the show changes completely, and everyone sounds a little more confused and sad. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's how we were all thinking then.
Yeah. It's so hot in here. I'm almost positive every one of these plants is fake.
That's a good point.
There's no way they're alive.
No, that one's definitely fake. Probably those ones too. That one, I mean, yeah, that one looks plastic.
Yeah, for those of y'all who can't see, which is everyone watching.
Because even if you're watching, they're off camera.
There are 5 plants in here, and I'm almost positive that 4 of them are fake. And the only reason that bothers me is that
also I'm not watering them, so I hope they're fake. No one's sneaking in here to give them water.
I don't like the stolen valor of fake plants.
The stolen valor of fake plants.
Let me just explain. So
I'm very
there
excited.
are
We're going to get to
people-
the restaurant reviews in a second.
there are people out there that take care of plants in their home. They keep them alive.
Yep.
They keep the oxygen in the apartment fresher.
Sure.
All right. And they show responsibility for caring for a living thing. Then there are other people who are like, let me just take all of that and
Yeah.
buy something plastic for $6
Yeah.
and put it in the same place I
I-
would put the real plant.
I like to think of it as an action figure of a plant.
I think of it as plant taxidermy, and it's disgusting.
Plantsodermy. Come on, that one was right there. I knew you were gonna hate that one too.
Honestly, if the seat on this futon wasn't backwards and I wasn't sunken in, I would get up right now.
Say if I had any strength at all, I'd storm away.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, Jess has been. I can't remember if we've talked about this, but Jess has been a little plant crazy these days.
Really?
We got a lot of plants in the fucking house now, and it's like it's okay. I'm fine with it, but it's like it seems like anytime we go anywhere, we were here in New York when she was here with me, and we walked by somewhere, and she was like, "Ooh, I could get this." I'm like, "No, you can't. That's not gonna fit in your carry-on. What are you doing? You're not gonna buy plants here." She's like, "Well, they might ship it." I'm like, "Or we just find it where we live. Like, don't do that."
Yeah, New York doesn't have any special plants.
And exactly. And the time we've shipped plants, they get all fucked up. So she's done it before. They show up not happy because it turns out plants don't love living in a box for a couple days.
So when I was taking the bus,
Yeah.
this is like maybe 2 years ago because this was so close. I was taking the bus to do a show 3 years ago, I guess, because it would have been 2019.
Yeah.
Taking the bus to do a quick spot in Connecticut,
Okay.
and I was like, I was on the bus, and the whole time I was on the bus, I was like, I should have just taken the train. I feel that way every time I take a bus. I'm like, the train. Sometimes the train is not quicker. A lot of people think that the train's going to be quicker because it's like a straight shot and there shouldn't be any traffic or anything. But sometimes there is. Sometimes something happens with a train that's an hour ahead of you.
And it's the only one path it can really take.
It's the one path you can take, so then it does delay you by 30 minutes or 45 minutes. Like, it's a misconception that the train is just always on time. They love to be on time, but they're not always.
Right.
Anyway, I'm on this bus, and there's this grown man handling a bag with a bag in it of fish, right? Of like live fish. So
Okay.
he's like clearly gone to a pet store and bought some fish.
Right.
And I don't know where exactly he's going, but he's in New York getting on the Connecticut directed bus. So he's at least going to be riding for a while.
God, I hope this doesn't have the same ending as the bag of soda, man.
No.
That'd be a bummer.
No. But
Then the
it's-
guy with an umbrella gets on the bus.
No, but it's just funny to me because he had all these fish, different fish, by the way, that were going to be, I was assuming, in the same aquarium. And he was like an aisle over from me. And so I was just like casually looking in the bag as he was handling it because he kept adjusting them. Like, he kept like putting one that was at the bottom up at the top and like taking them out and putting them back in and stuff like that. And I was
Wait,
just-
taking what? Taking.
So there were like a bag of goldfish,
Right.
a bag of the little bitty, whatever you call them. They've got a little color to them, and they're like faster than goldfish, but they're much smaller.
Okay.
Let me see. I mean, I know you don't care about the actual type, but like it was like imagine a goldfish,
Right.
And then these little things that are just like they usually have whole schools of them in some aquariums.
Right. Yeah. I
Yeah.
couldn't tell you what they're called, but I
And
think I know what you're
then
talking about.
what I think was an algae eater because it was like a little long and had
Yeah.
the like
Flat mouth.
not just the flat mouth, the color
A
and
fish,
the-
a fish with no chin.
yeah, fish with no chin, glass jawfish.
Just that flat neck.
The pattern on it was like an algae eater. And so he kept just taking the bags out and putting them on top of each other. And I was like,
Like that was
this
going
is
to do
making-
anything.
I don't know. I don't know if he was trying to keep them warm or cold. Like it was just him moving them around a lot.
I don't want any of them to feel superior to the others.
Yeah, I want them all to know that at any point in their life, I could change how they live. You ever buy fish just to play God?
I have a feeling that's why some people do. Actually,
Yeah.
same with plants. You just want to feel. You want to feel powerful.
Yeah, you want to watch something die in your apartment that you're allowed to kill.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's not as grim as other pets.
You just walk by the plant like your days are numbered.
What's the thing? It's like I remember one time Jess was getting angry that one of her plants like kept doing bad, like, and she was doing everything right for it, and she's like, "This plant's gonna fucking die." I'm so disappointed. I say, "Don't they tell you to talk positively to the plant?" And
Yeah.
she's like, "If it would get its fucking shit together." I'm like, "No, but maybe that's what's killing it."
Yeah.
If they keep saying you should be positive to your plants, and you're meanwhile you're pouring water into it, just live, you piece of shit.
Yeah, you're really being like a step parent to this
Yeah,
plant.
exactly. Yeah, the plant knows you don't love it.
Yeah. You're just trying to
You're just doing your job.
get with its mom,
Yeah, I sat down with our cactus and I said, "You can call me Dad.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to replace your dad. Your dad cactus. Your dad tus."
Yeah. That's one of my favorites now that I'm like getting a bit older. I have friends who are dating people with kids for the first time.
Oh yeah.
And one of my favorites is
You ever date anybody that had a kid?
nah.
Okay, me neither.
Nah, but I've been told, this was not like, I wasn't privy to this conversation when it was happening, but I've been told one of our friends, not you and I say me and the person that told me the story, tried to bribe the kid and just tell him to tell his mom that they went to Disney World and had a great time, and gave him $150.
Wow.
But in my head, I was like, you almost at Disney money.
Yeah.
That means you really just don't want to spend the time with them because
yeah.
you almost had enough money for both of y'all to go.
You didn't want to get to know the kid.
Yeah. It's like, listen, you can go over the story with me and everything. I got 150 for you.
Yeah.
Just, tell her we had a great time. Tell her we hung out, whatever.
What happened? Did the kid keep up his end of the deal, or?
It seems like it.
Because if not, it'd be great too if the kid just took the money and then was like, "Guess what he just fucking did? Wants me to lie about going to Disneyland."
Yeah. It would be funnier if he took the money and was like, he hit me. He struck me.
Well, then she's like, "Well, so where's the money he gave you?" He's like, "Oh shoot, I must have lost it."
He must have hit me so hard
Must hit
that
me
it
so
flew out of my
hard.
pockets.
Anyway, don't worry about all these Hot Wheels.
Yeah. Because it's also very hard to spend money as a little kid.
Especially that amount of money. You have nothing really. Once you buy a few toys, then I'm just like, okay, now I've got more money.
Imagine if you come home with like a full arms full box of Snickers and then just try to act normal.
I found it.
Yeah, I found this box. Fell off a truck, Mom.
Can we keep it? Yeah, it fell off
Yeah.
the truck.
Fell off a Snickers truck, and they wouldn't want them all road rashed and
Yeah.
everything.
This is gonna go to the discount store. I want these Snickers to have a good life.
Can I tell you when I was little and we used to go to the dollar store and stuff like that?
Mm-hmm.
Every once in a while they'd have like a brand name candy there
Yeah.
for like way too cheap, and so other kids were getting excited in the aisle to check out, and I was always like, "What did y'all do to it?"
Yeah.
Because it's only when I go to other stores, it's only 20 cents more.
They're all pre-melted.
Yeah. I was like, what's wrong with this?
Or we grave it was just like a mislabeling though. Oh, awesome. A Snorkers.
It's like, oh man, Mom, can you give me that Twiddlers?
I can't wait to eat this Malky Wax.
Yeah. Wow. This chocolate is so spicy. This Herschel's bar does not taste good.
Give me a handful of Scuttles.
Yeah. Scuttles would probably be fire though.
Scuttles, I bet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Scuttles sounds like
Yeah.
the people who lost the lawsuit to Skittles that actually came up with Skittles.
Yeah.
Like someone tried a Scuttle and they were like, I'll just take this home in my mouth without chewing. And
Yeah.
then they just spit it out at home and try to figure out the recipe from there.
Right, yeah. A
Made
scuttle,
to-
a scuttle is made with real fruit. It's
Yeah.
actual fruit flavor.
Yeah, but that's too expensive. So they
Can't do it.
went with what? Titanium dioxide.
Some red 47 or whatever the hell.
Yeah.
So the restaurant reviews.
Oh, okay. So it was just this restaurant review that made me laugh because it was to like southern seafood place,
Uh-huh.
and they were complaining about the wait, which is a valid complaint. Like they were like, wait time was extra long.
Goddamn,
And
this is
everything.
how fucking hot and melty my brain is right now. I'm like, what? Like the fish was too light? I literally was like, they were complaining about the weight. Like catfish supposed to be heavier or something. That's how fucking.
Maybe you do have heat stroke.
I think so.
Maybe that should be the title of this episode.
I think the name of this episode, I already thought the name of this episode probably should be Josh and Logan Get Heat Stroke.
I'm fine. Yeah, I'm good. You're the one that's all.
Nah, you said some shit earlier.
What did I say earlier?
I don't know.
What did I say earlier that I didn't mean?
some-
I stand by everything that I've said.
I've meant everything I've said, but you've also left out some words.
I don't know if I believe you.
All I could do was loud.
Yeah, but I would say that even if it was freezing cold in here. All I could do was loud.
Okay.
Yeah. You acted like you've never made fun of how I've said things before, and I'm only talking like this now.
I don't know.
If I didn't have my history, then yes, I'd be like, you should call an ambulance. But because I talk the way that I talk, this is par for the course. So, yeah, they were complaining. Do you need me to slap the back?
No.
Oh,
I choked on water now. That I think definitely was more like the angle I'm sitting at. This is not a comfortable angle to drink.
yeah. We should do a supercut of everything in here that's unusable.
I think that'll be the episode, bud.
No, we should do because I think that honestly we've got some great stuff, and then we have stuff where I'm like, are you like just now where I'm like, it looks bad on camera because I don't look concerned enough. I can.
Oh,
even
you're
tell.
just trying to protect you.
I'm not talking. I'm telling you to put it out. I'm not trying to protect me at all. I'm just saying in the camera, I'm sure I don't look concerned enough because I wasn't sure what was happening. I didn't realize you were choking. I just thought
It wasn't choking. It just went down, the wrong tube or whatever. Just kind of,
people say that, but are there really multiple tubes in your throat?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. You were always like went down the wrong hole.
It's
There's-
whatever it is that people say when that happens. I think I swallowed like a weird air bubble because again, I'm like, I rarely drink reclined. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like if you were like one of those people that needed the home health care and they sat you like this, it would be to kill you.
Yeah.
It'd be you taking a sip of water and just like, ugh.
Because even right there, I just took a sip and I realized how much like air is in your mouth when you're trying to like get a drink like this. Anyway, the catfish was too heavy.
I mean, it's barely worth doing.
No,
anymore.
come on, we're here.
So the catfish was like, the catfish was fine. The wait time to get in was very long, and then the wait time once they sat down was just as long. So they were like, "Well, why aren't we still like? What's the point of even waiting inside if the wait time is going to be as long as we were waiting to get in the restaurant?" Right.
Right.
And then the food came. The catfish was good, but every other side was insane. Was like their mac and cheese was like. Clearly, some of the macaroni had been cooked all the way, so it was crunchy as hell. And it just made me laugh.
That's cruncheroni. Just you're good.
Yeah.
Don't worry. It's a new cool thing we're doing.
And this person said in the review that they chipped a tooth on the mac and cheese.
Oh, damn!
Like they broke a crown in the back. Because the mac and cheese was like they it's not like they ate the whole thing. Once they realized that it wasn't like a freak thing,
Right.
They were like, "Oh, I'm done with it." But then they took. Obviously, you take a spoonful. You're very hungry. You've been waiting for an hour and a half or more, and so as soon as you get your food comes, you start digging in.
Yeah.
And they bit into this like very undercooked mac and cheese and just
That's great.
lost a little bit of
Yeah.
a dental work with it.
We thought you ordered it rare.
Yeah, we thought you really wanted a challenge in your mac and cheese.
Yeah.
We weren't sure if you were one of these absolute wimps
Yeah,
who
are you-
likes it cooked all the way.
Yeah, are you on a
through.
raw diet? We thought you were on a raw diet, and that's
Yeah.
what this. We just give it to you. We just straight from the box.
Yeah, that's why it is piping hot cheese with not even cooked macaroni.
Oh man,
Yeah.
did you have another one, or was that the whole?
No, I mean that was it.
Good. Okay.
Yeah.
I liked it. Then I think we, as much as we didn't get to the review, it took up the perfect amount of time. I think because now we can open the.
And you talking about how we both have heat stroke.
I didn't say I didn't have it worse.
All right. It just seems like between the two of us, if one of us needed attention, it should be you first.
Oh, I agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
Don't help him.
No, I'm just saying, if we Uber to the hospital right now, I'd be like, hey, my friend is not doing well. And the simple fact I was able to explain that to you means I'm fine.
I am not disagreeing with you. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying we both need an IV, I think.
What have I done?
I like that you're
fit as
you're-
a fiddle.
I like that we spent most of this
I'm
both
so healthy.
complaining about how hot and uncomfortable we are, and now you're pretending like everything's great for you.
I'm not saying everything is great. Almost everything is great.
All right, well, let's open up the MUBA. Let's see here. I've got a couple picked out. This is from Buko, who is it Buko or Buko? Because spelt. I'm wondering if am I supposed to put more stank?
I think it's Buko.
Okay, I just can't tell if it's like because like it looks like the word book. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So it's like Buko is different than Buko. You know what I mean? I'm just wondering.
No, I'm with you. I just think you said it right the second time.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
That's why I just wanted your opinion.
What I like about this already is that we've pronounced their name several different ways, and then
We had to have got it right.
at some point, and now the way they open up is funny because it's lots of iterations of our name.
That is true. I didn't even see that. Yeah, this one is titled Advice, and it says, Hey, Jogan, Lashi, J-Lo, Squeaks in Toontown. This is Buko. I wanted to suggest that y'all start an advice segment on the podcast. I think you did really well when giving advice during the mailbag last week and think that should be a regular thing you do. That was, I think, off of the relationship advice we had gotten into. Also, Josh, get Logan's face tattooed on you, or y'all can get matching / complimentary tattoos. Like Logan gets a little man holding specs, and Josh has a little man that's squinting and tripping. I just got my first tattoos less than a week ago, and they aren't that sore. Now, last part just seemed like a brag.
Yeah, that does seem like I just don't feel pain like some of y'all.
Yeah, I'm doing great, but
Yeah.
you two are scared of needles. Also, if we're asking for advice, I don't really know how to flirt sober, and I want the lady that did my tattoo to be my girlfriend. She's very pretty and really interesting. Kind of older than me, but I don't really be dating people my age, which I think is okay because I'm an adultish woman. I'm 21, so you don't think I'm a minor. That is probably good clarification to put in there. Because if
Yeah.
you were like, I'm 15, I'd be like, oh, don't worry, you're gonna strike out with everyone for the next 10 years.
Should leave her alone.
How do I start talking to her? Because I have her number. Thanks for the podcast. I love it. And you guys, my mom loves it when you aren't swearing. Sorry, that's mostly at me. My friends love it because we have the same sense of humor. And I've put a few ex-boyfriends on game. Thanks for being the sun in my stormy weather. Kind regards, Buko. P.S. Sorry this email is so long. Not that long. I think you did great. I think you nailed it with the email length. So if I could tackle the question first real quick.
Okay.
To me, it really depends on one caveat. It depends. Do you have their number because they gave it to you? Or do you have it because they do your tattoos? Because if it's just because like they're the person you hit up for like, oh, here's what I'm thinking of getting, lining up the appointment time. Because I know people who have that. They just have like their tattooist number. So if you have it strictly from that business transaction, you may want to leave this person alone unless you have a personal relationship with them. If they gave you your number because you guys like hit it off and then exchange numbers to like talk, then that just changes it. Then you are open to a conversation, I think. But I think otherwise it's a little bit of like, trying to hit on a waitress because they're being nice to you. And it's like, but that's part of their job,
Yeah, I slightly disagree because I think that if you have their number in a professional setting,
Right.
but then you strike up a conversation that's light, so not even directly getting to.
Oh yeah, I'm not
the
saying
thing.
it's undoable. I'm saying it just changes how you do it.
I think that if you can bring up light conversation that's not tattoo related while having their number, no matter which way you got it, then there might be the possibility for a coffee or a lunch or a chat.
Right.
I think that it's kind of like when you're in school and especially when you go to a small school or when you're in a camp or something and they just give everyone's numbers to everybody. That's not the same as having the person's number.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, like if you go to camp with someone and you're all camp counselors and so you have all the other camp counselors' numbers, that's not you having her number.
Yeah.
Because she won't know that you're calling because it's you when you call. But if in any form you were given the number specifically and then you use that number to have a light chat that's not in any way romantic or about meeting up, just like, hey, I thought this thing was funny, something like that. I think if that is reciprocated, then now you can see an open door potentially,
Right.
for a meetup that is lunch. I think any approach that takes it slow is kind of fair and leads to no one being uncomfortable. And then also, if you're talking about how to approach people, hit on people sober, I would say that, especially since this is your tattoo artist. So this is her tattoo artist?
I believe so.
Okay. So this being her tattoo artist, you just roll up and you're like, hey, baby girl, you already been sticking it in me.
Jesus Christ.
What? This entire time?
Don't say that. Don't say that to them.
It's nothing you haven't seen. All right. We would just be doing what you do, but a little slower.
You've already been in me and causing me pain. We basically married.
Yeah. Let's do this together.
Yeah.
So read to me again the part hitting on people sober. What else was that?
All right. So I don't really know how to flirt sober, and I want the lady that did my tattoo to be my girlfriend.
Okay.
She's very pretty and really interesting, a little bit older. How do I start talking to her because I have her number? And again, I think if she gave you the number because you guys were like chatting and exchange numbers for even whether dating and or just a friendship, then I think you're open to just, friendly conversation.
So my thing as well, when it comes to approaching people sober, I think that people who need to do it slightly tipsy or with like a little bit of that liquid courage are forgetting and overthinking that these are just people moving through the world like you. So I understand the intimidation because I've had to approach anyone that I've ever approached sober. I've had to ask anyone out that I've ever asked out sober. So I get that there's a little bit of a fear of rejection, and then there's a fear of embarrassment. But on the other side of that thing, even if it were to happen, is just you knowing where you stand now, which is better than wondering and hoping and overthinking and everything.
Yeah.
I think that you also can point to any person, and if you ask them the amount of times in life that they've been horribly, humiliatingly rejected, they're always lower than you would think. So we spend our entire lives trying to avoid any of them happening. But then when you really look at someone just taking you to task for asking them out, I'm not saying that never happens. I'm just saying those things are so rare. Like any decent person that you would want to be with could treat you in a way that, oh, okay, maybe they're not into it, but at least I know now.
Yeah.
The fear that we have about approaching people or flirting or like being our intentions being misrepresented always through our imagination take such a worse turn than they usually do in real life.
Well, I think it's because too the hardest part about approaching sober, and I think this is why a lot of people like to do it with liquid courage, because it does literally give you that like confidence, because one of the hardest things is being confident in yourself, and that's what it always takes, is like, what is the part of you you're most confident in, the most part of your sense of humor that you're like, I think I'm actually funny in this way, or blah blah. It takes a long time, any of us, even us as comedians, takes a long time before you feel like really comfortable just being yourself in the world. And that's why I think a lot of people like having that liquid courage, because it kills some of those, not so much that it gives you courage, it just stops some of your, I don't know, practical thoughts of maybe about being too too much. You know what I mean? I think is more what it is. So it's like, and I know especially like 21, like, not saying you don't know who you are, but that's a tough age too, to sometimes, because you're still just kind of acclimating yourself to like out on my own adult life. You know what I mean? So it's like whatever parts about your personality that you're just like, and you might initially be like, I don't like my personality. That's fine. Get past that thought. What are the things about you think are the most appealing? Like for me, it was always like, you know what? I do know I'm funny. I know not everyone finds me funny, but I do know I am funny, and I can lead with that and be confident in my sense of humor. Not trying to be jokey all the time, but being confident in my sense of humor and be like, well, if they don't like it, then they're not going to like me. And while that might hurt sometimes, that was always enough for me to be like, oh, well, then I won't pursue this person anymore because they don't really get what I'm talking about. Doesn't mean they're dumb or anything. Just means like this will be a hard relationship if I'm constantly making these jokes and they don't like them. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like it's that high risk, high reward kind of situation.
Yeah. So I would even say that sometimes when I've just seen from the outside looking in that sometimes even when people try to flirt while they're not sober, they're not really flirting the way they think they're flirting as well. So it's not like you can ever, it's best to take these things head on emotionally, because it's not like you can cheat the system in a sense. Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I've known guys who had just trouble around women. And so then they like get a little tipsy because they were nervous about asking someone out.
Right.
And then they ask them out way too close to their face. And now you have a different issue. So it's like being comfortable with yourself and settling into yourself that's great advice, because I think that that's the best way that in any situation you start to know and feel worthy of someone else's time and attention.
Yeah.
Which is the main point of being confident in approaching a person.
Yeah. And if you shoot your shot and it doesn't really work out, they do your tattoos. So now you can just easily sidestep this into a business transaction and be like, oh, hey, I was thinking about getting this. You know what I mean? If it's like, they didn't really take the bait or whatever, I'm going to, all right, let me not take the bait. That's the wrong wording. But you know what I mean? Like, they don't seem to be going for this. Like, oh, hey, I'm thinking about maybe getting another one. Blah, blah, blah. What do you think about this? Is this something you could do? Mm-hmm. And then the conversation can go back to tattoos, and then you save a little ego there. Also, all of life is like practice for other points in life, and so just facing that sort of quote unquote fear, but like facing that aspect of fear and asking that person out is better practice even for the next time you might have to do it, or and the also, next time you might have to do it. And also, if she's an attractive tattoo artist, she has been hit on probably so many times in way worse ways. So whatever you do probably won't be the worst.
I can see that. Yeah.
There's definitely, probably hardcore like bros who've really tried to be like, yeah, and hey, since you're down there, that kind of shit. It'll be those kind of assholes. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So it's like, I don't know.
Yeah. I just think that practice thing is huge, because I think that eventually you get to a point where you feel comfortable, even if it's just through repetition of like shooting your shot.
Yeah. So we hope that helped, and hope it all made sense.
Wouldn't it be wild if they wrote in the next week like, hey, you guys probably shouldn't give advice anymore. Like that probably should be an aspect of the show.
Hey, we weren't asking for it, so it's all good. This next one here, this is from Calliope, and can I be honest with you? Even non-heat stroke brain, I know what that word is. I know what the word Calliope is. It always reads wrong in my brain the first time. It always registers as Calliope the first time, and I go, "That's not a word," and like I have to do that every time I read that. That's just a little fun fact about me. But anyway, this one is called "Thank You." Hi, Toontown and Squeaks. First off, hi, my name is Calliope, and my pronouns are he, they. These past couple years, I've been struggling with coming to terms with my gender and sexuality, and my family being very openly against the LGBTQ plus community hasn't helped any, for obvious reasons. I found comfort in comedians, and Josh became one of my favorites very quickly, and I started showing his videos to all of my friends. When I found out about this podcast a few months ago, I can say without a doubt that I felt much better. High school has been tough, and I'm moving to a whole new state soon, but you guys have helped me deal with it all. Anyways, thank you both for helping me through this weird time in my life. When I listen, I don't worry about any of my issues, and I think that's neat. That's all. Thank you both, from Calliope. Oh, also, 10 million jangles out of 3. I know it's not the most jangles we've gotten, but I think...
By ratio.
I think by ratio it is.
It might be, yeah.
10 million out of 3, I think, is way more than the other larger groups of jangles we have received, I think, actually. I think ratio-wise, you're winning in that one, Calliope.
Yeah.
Glad to hear that. Sorry, things have been tough, and I know I've moved to new places, especially when I was even when I was younger than high school, and there's nerves to that. But like the one good thing is like, yeah, but you get to be a fresh person to all of them. It's like you get to truly make a first impression, and especially being in high school, you're old enough to kind of know what that's going to be. Because I did it when I was in like 3rd grade, and that's like, look back now, I'm like, maybe I was too much, I was in 3rd grade. I wasn't really thinking about it.
Yeah, I feel like as well, moving to a new place and everything that you're going through. I mean, I'm really glad that the podcast and comedy are an outlet. Like I know that they're always an outlet for me when I'm feeling any particular way. I think that comedy is such a great, like, it's not even just laugh as a distraction. It's like laugh as a means to break down an idea. And so, I really hope that the podcast continues to be that for you, and that things get better quicker, because they get better, period. But
right.
Sometimes while you're waiting for them to get better, it can feel longer than the process is. Like I think back to high school, and high school to college was such a great transition for me, where all the qualities that I felt like made me self-conscious in high school, all of a sudden were all the things that propelled me in my like college years.
Yeah.
And so I think finding out more about yourself, knowing yourself, and knowing the people around you and how they fit into how you see your future are all very powerful tools in the journey to self-actualization. Because there are some people that, they're not going to fit in to what you see for yourself the way that you think. And so keeping those things flexible is always good. There are people who I think if I had held on to, even from early on, if I had held on to them, I might not be like a confident person, or I might be like you have to both be accepting of people the way you want them to accept you, but also accept the reality of what that person is like. So always offering up the means for them to make changes, but also not expecting them to wake up one day and just get everything the way that you would like for them to get it,
Right.
Because I think that leads to a lot of disappointment in relationships, both like romantic and family, where you're like, why don't they just get it? And it's like, there's no telling why they're going to behave the way they're going to behave. They have a whole set of human baggage that they carry.
Yeah.
But I think that all you can do is learn more about yourself every day, and find positive outlets. And I'm glad that we can be one of those things.
Yeah. And also in return, thank you for sending in that message, because the people that send those messages saying like, this show helps them, makes them feel better. It's that cyclical thing where it makes us feel better about doing it and knowing that like while we're fine if it is just us sitting on a couch talking, it's nice that people get something out of it. So it's this fun thing where we all boost each other by being a part of it. You know what I mean?
Grandma's couch talking that we're clearly being held captive at. That
we're making the best of our hostage situation.
yeah.
Let's read one more. This one says, this is from Sierra, and I'm reading this one mainly because it's July 28th in Philly, which this episode will come out July 28th, and we will be in Philly.
Okay, wow.
And so, hello, Concussed King and Wedding Wanderer. I like both of those. Those are pretty good.
Yeah. The Wedding Wanderer sounds like a Game of Thrones thing.
A little bit. I've emailed before, was there during a live show where we talked about school lunches, and you got to see Josh in New York City earlier this year. Oh, and they got to see. That's a picture of y'all, it looks like.
Oh, sweet.
There we go. But yes, I do remember the one we talked about school lunches on the virtual live show. But my birthday is July 28th, which would be today. So happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
And imagine my surprise when I heard that both of you are performing in Philly that night. I bought the tickets immediately after they were announced for the front row. And because it's my birthday, my friends and my boyfriend are being forced to come. So I hope they have a good time.
Yeah. It would be wild to see like two people having a good time and then three other people like
just I hope to have a chance to talk to you both after the show, especially because last time I was really anxious to talk to Josh, like he was going to ignore me or something like that. I don't know. Anyway, I'll be more prepared. My question is, has Josh gone roller skating before? And if he has, is he any good? I've recently bought my own just as a hobby, and I'm okay, but when I go, there's always this old black man and his friends who synchronize skate, which I find a little cheesy and cute. Please take no offense, but I feel like that's Josh's future. Can't wait to see your show. P.S. I've shaved my head since then, and I'll be overdressed because it's my birthday, and I'm not letting the fact that it's a Thursday night hold me back. Also, I'm unfortunately the pale one. Oh, in the photo. Okay, I know you're gonna do it for your birthday. Please do not show up very drunk. If you reserved your front row ticks, please don't make us have to handle you.
I have been roller skating before.
How'd it go?
I roller skated, then I roller bladed, and I've been several times, and none of them have gone particularly great. I'm definitely one of the, like wallflowers at a dance. Mm-hmm. I'm definitely one of the
rink flowers,
the rink grabbers. You know, the people who hold on.
A real rail grabber.
Yeah, because then
sounds like an insult.
The rink that we had near me, the closest one when I was younger, had a rink that had the sort of was the actual partition called? Like the rink is the actual partition between standing and the
right. The little half wall, whatever.
So the half wall stopped at the wall. So then it was almost like a big oval with a little bit of wall where there was no half wall. So it was essentially you would grab the half wall the entire way. And then
but then the railing would like stop. Like
the railing would stop once it got to the wall.
Gotcha.
And so at least some of the rink was flat where you really had to just skate.
Just you
and that's
clawing at a wall.
And that's always where I fell. I would just slide down the wall whenever I got to that part. Yeah,
I roller skated a little bit as a kid, but I was never a confident skater. My brother was a roller blader, and that I never could really. I was never confident enough to stand on those, and then I haven't tried in a long time, especially stuff like that. Ever since I got my really bad head injury. Slipping is not a thing I'm fond of, so crack my skull once, shame on you. Floor, crack it twice, shame on me. Didn't really crack my skull, but
yeah.
Let's end the show.
Thanks so much for listening to the Josh Oz's show. We had a great time recording. I hope you had a great time listening. If you are looking to
have a great time recording.
No, this was fun. You didn't have fun?
I'm kidding.
Oh, okay.
Talking about us being hot.
Oh, yeah. Some of that's going to go. It has to. What's going to be really funny is us kind of talking about like pretty much trashing ourselves for going on and on about it,
Yeah.
but then we have enough time recorded that you're going to cut some of it. So then someone's going to be like, what are they talking about?
I might leave all of it. Who knows? They like when we're real.
They won't like this level of real. There's literally just a thing of you choking. That's too real.
I know, but that's such a great escalation of where we were at. You know what I mean? So it's hard to wrap up the
You
your
should,
outro.
you should just keep the choking and cut everything related to heat would be very funny. Because there's just me. I didn't look concerned enough on camera. So can you choke again so I can fade a little bit of like, oh no, my friend. Oh no, what is happening to him in his esophagus?
You very quietly said, "Do you need me to pat your back?"
Yeah, because I didn't know if you were laughing or if because my head was down when you took the sip.
Right.
I didn't even know you had water in your mouth.
Oh.
And so I just see you like hunched over like, oh. So then I'm like, do you need me to pat your back? But then you were like, no.
That was good. It was
So
just
then
water.
how do I help you? Do you want the Heimlich from the water?
Because I wasn't choking. I was just I forgot how to swallow liquids for a second.
Yeah.
That's all.
And then there's
I
nothing.
remembered.
But I should still have looked more concerned because I really kept the same face
And,
the
that's the thing,
entire
and
time.
I'm not cutting it because you didn't look concerned. If anything, I'm gonna punch in only on your face to show how much my friend didn't care.
It's not that I didn't care. I was just confused. Imagine if you were in an office building right
Go and
now.
finish the fucking show.
No, just hear me out. Imagine if you were in an office building right now and I fell off of the roof, but then you just see me whiz by like, yeah, and like you'd be confused.
Is that a bird?
No, that was me as
No,
I
I know.
screamed
I'm
past the
saying
window.
that's me in the office.
Oh yeah, is that a bird?
Yeah.
And then it's me, and so you look confused. But if we punch it on your face, you're like, he doesn't even care that Josh fell off a whole building. That's all I'm saying.
I get
If you
you.
were looking to catch up with us on any of the socials, you can find me at Josh Johnson Comedy on Instagram, Josh J Comedy on Facebook, at Josh Johnson on Twitter, and Josh Johnson Comedy on TikTok and YouTube. We're going to be posting clips of the show. And if you're looking for Logan,
You can follow me on Instagram at Logan M. Nielsen. And if you want to get into the mailbag like all those wonderful people there, that's joshjohnsonshow at gmail.com. Send us compliments, questions, whatever you want. We love getting them. You can also join our Patreon, patreon.com/Josh Johnson Show. We have bonus podcasts. We have bonus videos. We have access to past live shows at a certain level. And then this will be coming out the day after our Brooklyn live show. So I'm just going to say, if you were there, thanks. Thanks for coming out. We hope it was good. I'm going to go ahead and assume it was.
okay.
Wasn't it great? I love making memories with all of you. Not gonna compliment our fan base for being there and supporting us.
Well, you're saying you hope it's going to be great. I just know it's going to be great, so I didn't say anything.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, better leave that level of hype in your pocket. Yeah, don't I?
I mean, I just know it'll be good, so I don't need to. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like if I made you a pie and I was like, "Hope you enjoy it. It's not poison."
Right.
You'd be like, why would you even say?
But I just don't want to. I don't want to be preemptively cocky about a thing from the past. You know what I mean?
No, but be cocky, because then the thing from the past will be a good present,
Okay.
and then in the future you'll be like, "I'm glad I."
All right, fine. Let me take a retake of that. For everyone, our live show would have been last night. If you were there, you're fucking welcome. You're welcome for what we did for you. Wasn't it amazing? God, we should have charged more. There, is that better? Is that more what you were looking for?
A little bit,
All right, cool.
yeah.
You gonna go stand in front of the fridge?
No, I think I'm just gonna have to lay outside.
That's not gonna be better.
Yeah, finish.
But I was running so fast and so hard that I knocked down this old man. And I mean, I cleared him, okay? Normally I'd feel bad, but it's the closest my little body's ever come to football. So I was pretty excited. I was like, he might be dead. Look at me go. You know? But I did feel bad, so I let the bus go. I helped him up to his feet. It was this old black man, and I even realized that he was blind, so I saw his stick. So I grabbed his stick. I put his stick back in his hand, and I was like, "Sir, I'm so sorry. I hope you're not injured. You know, you came out of nowhere. Please forgive me." And then this old blind black man went, "Get your hands off me, honky!" And I was like, "Sir." "Sir, I'm black. I'm black like you." And he was like, "Nice try, cracker." Like there was nothing I could do. And I've never had to prove I was black for it, so I got mad, but then the madder I got, the whiter I sounded. Until the point where I was just standing from like, "By golly, I'm black, gosh darn it!" There's nothing I could do. It was terrible.
Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, hit the notification bell, and tell a friend. That would be a huge help if you tell people about it. Sharing is great. There's like a share button, but if you tell people, they might click on it.